how's it going today?
Hey Sophia, I'm doing well, thanks. How about you?
I'm great, thanks. So, today's topic is a bit of a tricky one. We're diving into those times when apologies just didn't quite hit the mark.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I'm sure we've all had those moments where saying, sorry, didn't quite fix things.
Absolutely. It's fascinating how saying sorry can sometimes make things worse or feel insincere. So, let's start with some examples. Do you have a story where an apology didn't quite work out?
Oh, definitely. I remember this one time at work. I had a team member who missed a critical deadline, and it caused a lot of problems for the whole team. When he finally apologized, it seemed more like he was apologizing for the inconvenience rather than taking responsibility for his mistake.
That's tough. It's like he was saying I'm sorry for the trouble, rather than I'm sorry for my part in causing the trouble.
Exactly. And that's where the apology missed the mark. It didn't address the real issue or show that he understood the impact of his actions.
That's a great point. An effective apology usually involves acknowledging the specific mistake and its impact. It's not just about saying sorry, but showing understanding and making amends.
Right. So, what do you think makes an apology effective?
Well, an effective apology should have a few key elements. First, it should be genuine. The person apologizing needs to truly understand what went wrong and how it affected others. Second, it should be specific. Instead of a general "I'm sorry," it should address the specific action or behavior. And lastly, it should include a plan to make things right or prevent it from happening again.
That makes sense. It's about taking responsibility and showing a willingness to change.
Exactly. And sometimes people miss the mark because they focus too much on defending themselves or just trying to move past the issue quickly.
Yeah, avoiding the real conversation can definitely make things worse. It's like when someone says, I'm sorry you feel that way, instead of addressing the actual issue.
Oh, that's a classic one. It shifts the focus onto how the other person feels rather than addressing what actually happened.
Do you have any personal experiences where you felt an apology didn't quite cut it?
Actually, yes. There was a time when a friend let me down, and when she apologized, it felt very superficial. She said she was sorry, but there was no real acknowledgement of how her actions affected me. It felt like she was more concerned about getting past the awkwardness than genuinely addressing the issue.
That must have been frustrating. It's hard when someone doesn't fully understand or acknowledge the impact of their actions.
Definitely. It can leave you feeling unresolved and frustrated.
So, what do you think is the best way to approach an apology if you really want to make things right?
I think the best approach is to start with empathy. Really listen to the other person and understand their perspective. Then, make sure your apology is specific, acknowledging what exactly went wrong. And finally, offer a genuine commitment to making things better or changing your behavior.
That's great advice. It's about showing that you care and are willing to make amends.
Absolutely. Apologizing effectively can repair relationships and build trust.
And when it's done right, it can really make a difference in how people feel about the situation and about you.
Exactly. Well, this has been a really insightful discussion. We've talked about some key aspects of effective apologies and shared personal experiences. Now, we talked about the basics of effective apologies and what can make them fall short. We're going to dive into some specific stories where apologies didn't quite hit the mark.
Yes, we'll explore different situations and analyze what went wrong with the apologies in each case.
Let's start with a story from my college days. I had a group project with a classmate who missed several important meetings. When the deadline was approaching, I confronted him, and he apologized.
Oh, that sounds like a tricky situation. What was his apology like?
His apology was very general. He said, I'm really sorry for missing the meetings. But he didn't provide any specific reasons or acknowledge how his actions affected the project or our grades.
It sounds like his apology didn't address the core issue. A specific apology would involve explaining why he missed the meetings and acknowledging the impact on the project.
Exactly. A more effective apology would have included details like, I missed the meetings because I was dealing with a personal issue, and I understand that this caused extra work for you. I will make sure to communicate better in the future.
That's a much better approach. It shows accountability and understanding of the impact.
Another example I have is from a customer service experience. I had a problem with an online order, and when I contacted customer service, the representative apologized but only said, "Sorry for the inconvenience."
That sounds frustrating. What was missing from that apology?
The apology was missing specifics. It didn't address what went wrong with the order or how they would fix it. A better apology would have been, "I'm sorry that your order was delayed. We're looking into why this happened, and we'll make sure to expedite your order and offer a discount on your next purchase."
That would have been more reassuring. It's important for an apology to include steps for resolving the issue and preventing it from happening again.
Exactly. It shows that the company is taking responsibility and making efforts to improve.
I have a story from a personal relationship. I had a friend who canceled plans at the last minute several times. When she apologized, she just said, "I'm sorry, I was busy."
That must have been disappointing. What did you think was missing from her apology?
Her apology felt insincere because it didn't show any understanding of how her actions affected me. A more meaningful apology would have included, "I'm sorry for canceling our plans. I know this has been frustrating, and I should have communicated better. Let's set up a new time to meet."
That's a good point. Acknowledging the impact and offering to make it right can make a big difference.
And it's not just about the apology itself, but also about showing consistent effort to improve.
Yes. Consistency is key. If someone continues to make the same mistakes without meaningful changes, it can undermine the effectiveness of their apologies.
Absolutely. In summary, an effective apology involves specific acknowledgement of the mistake, understanding of its impact, and a commitment to making amends.
Well said, Mason. We've covered some great examples today. It's clear that the way we apologize can greatly affect how our relationships and interactions play out.
Definitely. I hope our listeners find these stories and insights helpful for understanding how to make better apologies and repair relationships.
Now, we discussed what makes apologies miss the mark and shared some real-life examples. We'll focus on how to craft effective apologies and practice applying these principles to various scenarios.
That sounds like a great plan, Sophia. It's one thing to understand what makes an apology work, but practicing it in different situations will really help solidify those concepts.
Absolutely. Let's start by breaking down the key elements of an effective apology. First, we need to cover the basic elements: acknowledging the mistake, understanding its impact, and making amends.
Right. So, let's go through each element with some examples. We'll start with acknowledging the mistake. This means clearly stating what went wrong. For example, if you missed a friend's birthday party, you might say, "I'm really sorry I missed your birthday party. I completely forgot about it."
Yes, that's a good start. Acknowledging the mistake involves being specific about what happened. It's not just a general sorry, but a clear recognition of what went wrong.
Next, understanding the impact. This means recognizing how your actions affected the other person. For instance, you could add, "I know my absence made you feel like I don't care about our friendship."
Exactly. Understanding the impact shows empathy and helps the other person feel heard. It's about acknowledging their feelings and the effect of your actions on them.
Finally, making amends. This involves offering a solution or making a promise to do better in the future. You could say, "I'd love to make it up to you. How about we plan a special get-together soon?"
Great! So, to recap, an effective apology includes acknowledging the mistake, understanding its impact, and offering to make amends.
Now, let's put these elements into practice with some scenarios. I'll give you a situation, and we'll work through crafting an apology together. Ready?
Let's do it!
Here's our first scenario. You accidentally deleted a coworker's important document. How would you craft an apology?
Okay, let's see. First, I'd acknowledge the mistake. "I'm really sorry, but I accidentally deleted your document."
Good start. Next, you need to understand the impact. "I realize this document was crucial for your project, and my mistake caused a lot of inconvenience."
And finally, making amends. "I'll work with ID to try to recover the document, and I'll also make sure to back up important files in the future. Is there anything else I can do to help?"
That's an excellent apology. It acknowledges the mistake, shows understanding of the impact, and offers a solution.
Thanks. Now, let's try another scenario. Suppose you promised to help a friend with moving, but you didn't show up. How would you apologize?
Okay, I'd start with acknowledging the mistake. I'm really sorry I didn't come to help with your move as I promised.
Great. Next, understanding the impact. I know you were counting on me, and my absence made the move much harder for you.
And for making amends, I'd like to make it up to you by helping with unpacking this weekend and bringing you dinner. Let me know if there's anything else I can do.
Perfect. You've addressed all three elements: acknowledgement, understanding, and making amends.
Excellent job. These scenarios show how applying the principles of effective apologies can help in various situations.
To wrap up, remember that a good apology involves clearly acknowledging the mistake, understanding how it affected the other person, and taking steps to make things right.
Exactly. With practice, these skills can improve our relationships and help us handle conflicts more effectively.
Now, we've covered a lot of ground in the previous parts: what makes apologies fall short, how to craft effective ones, and practice scenarios. We're going to summarize the key points and discuss how to apply these principles in your daily life.
Yes, let's bring it all together. We've explored various aspects of apologies, and now it's time to see how you can use these insights in real-life situations.
To start, let's recap the essential elements of an effective apology: acknowledging the mistake, understanding the impact, and making amends. These elements are crucial in ensuring that your apology is genuine and helpful.
Right. So, let's break these down again with the focus on how you can apply them. First, acknowledging the mistake. This means clearly stating what went wrong. For example, if you forgot to call someone back, you might say, "I'm really sorry, I didn't return your call."
Yes, and it's important to be specific about what you did wrong. This helps the other person understand that you recognize the exact nature of the mistake.
Next is understanding the impact. This involves recognizing how your actions affected the other person. For instance, you might say, "I understand that not returning your call meant you were left waiting and unsure about our plans."
Exactly. This shows empathy and helps the other person feel heard and valued. It's about acknowledging their feelings and the inconvenience caused by your actions.
Finally, making amends. This means offering a solution or a way to make things right. For example, you could say, "I'd like to make it up to you. How about we schedule a time to talk that works for you?"
To recap, an effective apology includes acknowledging the mistake, clearly stating what went wrong, understanding the impact, recognizing how your actions affected the other person, making amends, offering a solution, or showing commitment to do better.
Now, let's talk about how to apply these principles in everyday situations. Whether it's at work, with friends, or in family matters, using these techniques can improve your relationships and help resolve conflicts.
For instance, at work, if you missed a deadline, you could say, "I'm sorry for missing the deadline on the report. I understand this caused delays in the project. I will complete the report by the end of the day and put in extra hours to ensure it doesn't happen again."
In personal relationships, if you forget a friend's special day, you could say, "I'm sorry I forgot your birthday. I know it's important to you, and I should have remembered. I'd like to make it up to you by treating you to lunch."
In both examples, you're acknowledging the mistake, showing understanding of its impact, and offering to make amends. This approach helps rebuild trust and shows that you care about the other person's feelings.
Sometimes, it can be challenging to apologize effectively, especially if the other person is very upset or if the mistake was significant. In these cases, it's crucial to remain sincere and patient.
Yes, and remember, the goal of an apology is not just to say "I'm sorry," but to show that you genuinely understand the situation and are committed to making things right.
To wrap up, practicing these apology techniques can make a big difference in how you handle conflicts and build stronger relationships. Apologizing effectively is a valuable skill that can improve both personal and professional interactions.
Absolutely. By acknowledging the mistake, understanding its impact, and making amends, you can turn challenging situations into opportunities for growth and better communication.
Thank you all for joining us on this journey through the art of apologies. We hope you found these discussions helpful and that you'll be able to apply these insights in your own lives.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening. We've enjoyed exploring this topic with you. Until next time.
Me too. See you then.